Ladies and gentlemen, the bingo is back. Woo! So I'm going to give you guys a quick little rundown on what I've been doing on the bingo and what you can expect and how you can maximize your rewards for, in my opinion, the best piece of, I don't want to call it content, but the best piece of spending during the anniversary and possibly Black Friday. Now, I don't have a lot of time to talk here because my items are refreshing in under a minute, but as you can see, I'm already on the second step of the bingo. I've already completed stage 1, and you can see that from, no, not from that, but from this one up here. I've already completed stage 1. I already collected my CTP. I'm working on stage 2. On average, you're going to be looking to spend about 5,000 crystals per step. And you achieve that by only purchasing the items that are under 300 crystals. So that's anything you see for 275, 250, 265, 100, 150, 50. All of those, you buy them out. It doesn't matter if you need them or not. This is the basic strategy. Now, I also like to purchase specifically the level 5 uniform XP chips for 300. It does bring my average board cost up a little bit, but it's worth it in my opinion. The level 5 XP chips are very, very good if you're maxing out a lot of uniforms, and it makes the bingo go by a little bit faster. Now, you see this board here? Wow, you're thinking, oh, Alex is going to get the Carbonadium because he's a big whale. No, I'm not going to get the Carbonadium because even though I am a big whale and I'm intending to spend hundreds of dollars during this anniversary, this deal in particular is horrible. And the easiest way to explain how it's horrible is just add a 0 to the cost and add a 0 to the rewards. So would you pay 6,000 crystals for 1,000 Carbonadium? Do you see how awful that sounds, right? Because you can't really grasp it. You're like, oh man, 600 crystals is not that much. You get 100 Carbonadium, like that seems like a lot. But then you just add a 0 to both, and suddenly it looks like dog shit. Because on average, you need like what, 4,000, let's say, 5,000 Carbonadium to tier 4 a character. So you have to multiply that 6,000. It's already at 6,000 crystals, which is a deluxe pack character. You have to multiply that amount by 4 or 5. And I don't have to be a math wizard to tell you that's 24 to 30,000 crystals. Let me repeat that. 24,000 to 30,000 crystals. That's what that represents. That's the return. That's the sort of the ROI there, or sort of the Carbonadium per crystal deal there. So it's absolutely dog shit. So yeah, just to reiterate, you only want to purchase things that are under 300. So you don't purchase anything from the CCF, from the Mandalays and the Awakening. You don't purchase any of the tier 3 materials. You do purchase from the tier 2 materials. You purchase the 300 black antimatter because it's 260. You purchase the 300 Nornstones because it's also 260. You purchase the 300 feathers and the 300 Mcron crystals because it's also 260. You purchase any of the bios because they're always 275. You always purchase the Nornstones and the Mcron shards because it's always 250. And then I personally like to purchase the level 5 uniform XP chips when it's 30 of them for 300. I don't touch the 500 or 600 cost ones. And then I always do as much touching as possible on the card crafting cubes and the CTP reforging cubes. Whenever you see them, they're always amazing because that's way under 250. And then everything else you ignore. It's very straightforward. And all this requires you to do is it requires you to log into the game every 30 minutes. Now, that's really the cost. That is truly the cost of the bingo is in the secret shop, is being able to monitor the game that often. I know some of you guys are at school, you're at work, you have other priorities, you can't do that. That can make the bingo a lot more difficult to complete. And keep in mind, although the anniversary is 2 weeks, right? The events are 2 weeks. The bingo is not 2 weeks. Be very careful. The bingo is a 7-day event, and we're already down 1 day. So you have to be very, very careful. If you're starting the bingo late, you may not have enough time to get as far as you want. And in general, it's of course opinion changes from player to player, but in general, the rewards get better the deeper you go. Now, some players don't think the +6 sword is that valuable, so they might not go to level 6, but I don't think anyone would argue with the level 4 and the level 5 rewards. Level 4 being a 6-star artifact selector that gets you any artifact that's currently in the game. Now, let me mention one thing here. This does not include any future artifacts. So if you're planning to complete the bingo on the last day and hold on to the artifact selector, hoping to select an artifact from the next update, maybe it's going to be Sentry, maybe it's going to be somebody else, it's not going to get updated. They changed this more than a year ago with the Black Friday from 2022. They changed these artifact selectors. They no longer get new artifacts added to them. So what you see is what you get. But you still have a lot of amazing options. There's over 170 options in here. And then, of course, level 5, one of the best rewards in the game because it is purely choice and there's no RNG. You get any brilliant CTP that you want. For those of you wondering, in my opinion, the only two CTPs worth truly considering are the Conquest and the Rage. Alternatively, you could include maybe a Greed in there if you're still building out Greeds for key PvP characters like Wolverine, Adam, Jean. But lately, we've seen a huge uptick in the value of the Conquest CTP, and especially since it's not available through other selectors like Shadowland selectors, etc. It's actually a little bit harder to get. It's a little bit rarer than the other CTPs, so amassing them is a little bit harder. You can't get it from story mode, Dimensional Clash chests, the way that you can get other CTPs. You can't get them from the monthly Shadowland CTP box, etc. So yeah, in my opinion, it's really just like Rage for ABX, ABL stuff, and then Conquest for all the PvP stuff. That's my opinion. Obviously, you're welcome to choose whatever CTP you want, but that's just my opinion there. For those of you wondering what I'm going to choose from the artifacts, just so you have an idea of what I'm looking at, I'm not hard set. I'm not hard set on my decisions just yet, but right now I am looking at Coulson's artifact for the 6-star. I actually don't know where Coulson is, so I'm not going to try and find him. But anyways, Phil Coulson, I finally remembered his name, as my 6-star artifact. And then I was thinking of doing either Spider-Gwen for my 5-star, or there was somebody else that I was thinking for the 5-star. Oh, Ronin. I was thinking about doing Ronin for the 5-star. So yeah, again, it depends on what you need. I'm not saying those are the best artifacts at all. I have an artifact tier list. I'm just saying what I'm personally going to get because people ask me that question. Now, last thing I want to do here to wrap up this video is I want to quickly take you through a quick fire showcase of what the full bingo looks like. So this is a simulation. You can get to it over at thanosvibs.money/bingo bingo 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 rollin with no G at the end. Yeah, huge shout out to them for designing this. This is a very cool little piece of tech, and you can basically simulate how long it's going to take you in terms of hours and how much crystals it's going to cost you. So we're going to go ahead and play the game now. We have to how do I play the game? Okay, yeah, so we play the game, we click here, and it's going to show us these rewards, and then we just have to cycle through. Okay, I remember this now, so I got to move my camera here. So we see, let me just move this as well so that you guys can have a better view of the rewards and the cost here. So we're going to see these rewards. This is obviously just simulated, guys. It's not like a real bingo, but we're not going to buy any of these. So we're going to wait 30 minutes. Okay, we get a new roll. That's pretty bad. We're going to wait 30 minutes. Okay, perfect. We get 2 here. We buy these 2. We unlock 2 stages. Okay, so we wait 30 minutes again. So there we go. We got 2 more. Pretty good. Ideal, like best case scenario, you get 3 cheap ones, and it resets the board. Keep in mind that if you buy everything off the board of 3, like for example, if I were to buy all of these here, then it would re-roll the board. What you want to make sure is that if you buy all 3, that you re-roll the board when the item refreshes as close to 30 minutes as possible. That way you technically get an extra item reroll for free. You get an extra shop reroll for free within 24 hours. And also it keeps the timers at every 0-0 and every 30 minutes. Because if you do it halfway, then you have to sort of remember in your head, oh, it's at the 15-minute and 45-minute mark, or it's at the 10 and 40-minute mark. It can get kind of wonky and goofy. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and buy the XP chips just so I can show you what my board would look like in terms of cost. Okay, that's garbage. Oh, perfect. Very nice. All right. So we've taken 4 hours, we've used 2,000 crystals, and we have 1 line so far. It basically ramps. I'll give you guys this other piece of advice too as we're doing this quickly. It ramps. So you're going to feel like you've gotten nowhere. You're going to be about here, right? You're going to be like, man, I spent 3,000 crystals and I haven't gotten a single line. This is so bullshit. These rewards are garbage. And yes, they are. If you're looking at it from that point of view, if you're looking at it from the point of view of like you spent 3,000 crystals to get some fucking Norn stones and some of these shits here, yes, it's garbage. Absolutely, it's garbage. But that's not the point. That is not the point. You keep going a little bit longer. I'll show you, okay? You keep going a little bit longer here. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. You keep going a little bit longer, and suddenly, right, all of a sudden, with a couple more purchases, boom, boom, boom. With a couple more purchases, boom, I'm done. So we went from 3,000 crystals to 5,000 crystals. So we only spent another 2,000 crystals, but now we have the potential ticket. We have the mega rank up ticket. We have an Odin's Blessing selector. We have the CTP because we finished 5 lines, and we have the stage 4 ticket. Now this is a very unlucky board in the sense that we didn't get 17, which would have given us the mega mythic uniform upgrade ticket. And we also didn't get 17 to get the Mythic Comic card, and we didn't get 10 to get the Odin's Blessing Selector. In this case, I spent 5,000 crystals, but I got very unlucky. I would keep playing. If it were me, I would keep playing, because what is another 250 crystals? Look at this, 250 crystals, boom. I got the Mega Mythic Uniform ticket, and I got the Mythic card. So I just spent 250 crystals to get a Mega Mythic Uniform ticket, which is like worth $50, and a Mythic card, right? And maybe I'll play a little bit more because I want to get the Odin's Blessing Selector. That's up to you. That's personal choice. That's personal opinion. The Odin's Blessing Selectors do not include the new Odin's Blessing, so keep that in mind. You can check it in-game, but I also want to PSA you guys. If you click on the little magnifying glass, it shows you what's available. The new ones are not available. So if you're hoping to get the new ones, it's not going to work. All right, I want to rapid fire through the rest of this here. We're going to go to the next board here and see what we end up spending overall. So 250, 250, 260. Very nice. 260. Let's see. 50, 250. Very nice. 100. Speed running this bad boy. Speed running this bad boy. 250. I'll take the 250. The 300. Okay. And again, if you just follow these rules, you will end up spending 5,000 crystals or less per board, and you'll be able to basically get a brilliant CTP selector for 25,000 crystals. And of course, with that, you also get, you know, a mighty CTP selector, a 6-star, 5-star artifact selector, and a regular CTP. So again, this one, 5,000 crystals. We ended up with 6 lines. We got really lucky at the end, but again, we got the mythic ticket. We got some of the good stuff. We left some of the stuff on the board. I would probably keep going in this case, but actually, let me keep going here because I want to get the. Wow, that was the worst one. Wow, that's crazy. So yeah, this one was a little bit unfortunate. We got a little bit unlucky, but it's funny because it probably more accurately simulates what is actually happening. So there we go. It took us almost 6,000 crystals there. That was unfortunate. But oh no, not next board. Sorry, I misclicked there. Let's see how long this one takes. How many crystals this one takes. You can also keep waiting if you want something even cheaper than 250. If you're really trying to keep your purchases down, because there are quite a few that are under, right? The 100, the 50, like these ones right here. You could certainly wait for those as well. But there is an element of luck in terms of what ends up getting lined up, where you can sort of end up having to spend, let's see, 2, 3 lines. We did get the Mega Mythic again. 4 lines. And 5 lines. So there we go. Under 5,000. There you go. Under 5,000 for the third board. And you sort of get how this goes. You'll end up spending, you know, there you go. So you can see the stats there. On average, I'm spending about 5,600. I'm being a little bit more aggressive because I'm buying the 300. I'm also, you know, finishing out the board to get the Odin's Blessing selectors. You obviously don't have to do that. But yeah, that's basically how it works. And you can see the number of hours it takes to do each one. So you have to be checking the game, you know. You have to multiply that by 2, and that's how many times you have to check the game, right? Because if it takes 9.5 hours for every half-hour reset, right? So you have to check the game like almost 20 times in one day. Not everybody can do that, so just keep that in mind. And yeah, you probably need about it seems like you need about a day, or a little bit less than a day to complete a board. So if you're trying to get to the 5th board, if you're trying to finish 5 boards and you have less than 5 days remaining, just know that time is against you. You might end up being trapped into spending more crystals than you want. So just keep that in mind as a PSA. I don't want anybody, you know, to try the strategy and then, oh, I end up spending 10,000 crystals on one board because I didn't have enough time. That's why you got to start the bingo early and you have to commit, or just don't bother doing it at all. Anyways, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck on the bingo yourselves. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.